Hey guys, welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Ang Lee film, Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. This is based off an acclaimed novel of the same name. And Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, very unique title for a story, obviously. It centers around the Iraq War back in 2004. And though I'm pretty sure these events were fictional for this movie, they just made it up, but it's based on something that actually did happen. And Billy Lynn is returning home from the Iraq War, and him and a bunch of other troops that he worked with over in Iraq are asked to participate in a halftime event of a football game in Texas, I think, somewhere. And they are being honored for their acts of duty. They're basically representing America itself as the military for this halftime game. And while this is going on, Billy Lynn is suffering from PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, which is something that military troops have when something really traumatic happened to them overseas. And so he's dealing with this. And throughout the course of the film, he has to decide whether to continue forward with the military or to be honorably discharged so he can recover from this medical condition that he's starting to have, to give himself mental space to put him back on track with things and so forth. So he has, a sister that wants him to quit, a family that really never really supported his military decisions to begin with. So he has to deal with all these things while this halftime game's going on. So he often spaces out a lot, and he's thinking about these things and remembering these things. And throughout the course of the film, he has to decide to either continue forward with the military or to temporarily leave or leave permanently to recover from this mental condition that he's starting to have. So overall, guys, I was really looking forward to Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, but unfortunately, it ended up being just okay. There was things I liked about it, there was things I didn't like about it, but overall, I just didn't quite get the film I was hoping to get. But we did get some good elements along the way for this film while it was being made. For those positives and negatives of this film, I thought it was very well shot. Ang Lee did a very good job shooting this film. It looks great. The cinematography looks great. It's well written for the most part. I have a couple of script issues that I'm probably going to go over here in a little bit, but it is well shot. It's well directed. It's a nice looking production. There's also a lot of nice wide landscape shots that they use in this film. Whenever like Billy Lynn is either walking around or sitting down somewhere over in Iraq, and we just get a good shot of the environment that these characters are in and so forth. Ang Lee did a very good job finding landscapes and environments to shoot in like he always does in his films. His films always look really good. And Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, once again, goes along that line of really making sure that these shots look really good in this movie. Vin Diesel and Kristen Stewart have performances in this movie, and they're both very good. Vin Diesel's kind of the spiritual mentor to Billy Lynn. He was the drill sergeant, I think, of his platoon in this movie. He's very good in this film. Has a very good dramatic role out of Vin Diesel. And Kristen Stewart plays the sister of Billy Lynn, and she's also very good. She really went through a lot over the course of this movie. A lot of medical conditions for herself as well. So you really felt sorry for her. And they both have very good performances in this film, I felt. Ang Lee has his signature dissolve edits in this film, so there's these dissolve shots that go from shot to shot and scene to scene, and it's definitely signature Ang Lee. He did this a lot in Life of Pi as well, so if you like that signature Ang Lee way of editing scenes, he does this again here, and that dissolve effect works very well in this movie. Its messages on America's view and the truth behind war patriotism I thought was very strong. There's definitely the way that America views the military, and there's the truth behind how the troops view the military and so forth. America views it as this very honorable, very prestigious way of protecting the country, while sometimes the troops feel, specifically ones with PTSD, that it's very traumatic and very stressful, and they go through a lot of things that they wish they didn't have to go through, even though they're still proud to be a part of the military and so forth. They really see a lot of bad things over there that we don't really know about. And during this halftime game, a lot of people probably really had no clue that Billy Lynn went through all these things that he went through throughout the course of this film. So this film plays off of that, how patriotism, though very optimistic and good to feel about the military and so forth, sometimes the truth is they don't exactly feel that way because of these horrible things that they had to do to be honored for the things that they did. This film also has a very real and Hollywood aware look at things. There's even times in this film where the Chris Tucker character, who's in this film, by the way, and other characters kind of like, oh, well, if this was a Hollywood movie, that'd be a very short term love interest and stuff. So they talk about fun little things like that. It also has a very real look on things. It really does go over how sometimes these troops feel really, really bad about some of these things that they were asked to do while being overseas and so forth. So it has a very real feel to it, and I really admired that in Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk. For my negatives of this film and why I wasn't exactly as happy as I was leaving the theater with this movie, is it is a very slow film. It's not a very well paced film. It's a very slow. It takes a long time to get its point across, so it's not exactly a well paced film. Also, the second act of this film was very messy. It just really had no idea in the middle of this film, though the beginning started strong and the ending was strong for the most part. The second act of this film was just overall pretty messy and really could have used more guidance, I thought. And by the end of the film, I really wasn't sure how to feel. I mean, there's just so many things that this film throws at you that it's expecting you to feel. I guess I felt so overwhelmed with all these different things that were happening. I wasn't quite sure how to feel by the end of this movie. I also thought this film was a waste of both Chris Tucker and Steve Martin. They're both very talented men, but they really don't get a lot to do here. And this really is not one of Ang Lee's better films. I really think Life of Pi and, Brokeback Mountain and so forth were better films. And I also thought this film had a pretty predictable love interest. You really see everything about to go down the way it does. Nothing of surprise here when it came to the love interest. So I'm going to give this film a 7.5 out of 10. It's okay. Not a film I'd recommend, but if you like Ang Lee, it's worth a view, maybe a Redbox rental. This is an okay film.